And to break down the impact of these tariffs, we want to bring in Chief Economist for the state of Oregon, Riccadonna. Carl, thank you for being here.
Good evening.
Let's talk about this. The pauses on the Canada and Mexico tariffs are for 1 month. So the question is, what's next? Do you expect the full force of these tariffs to go ahead, or will we continue to see more negotiation here? What do you think?
Well, based on what we've seen to this point, it looks like it is a negotiating tactic. That's not to say that there won't be tariffs of some form that ultimately are put into place, but I think that what we're seeing presently is using a high number, using a heavy hammer to extract concessions, in this case relating to fentanyl and border security. But I think we'll continue to see these types of pressures put on. I don't think ultimately that we may see the full force of what was threatened over the course of the last couple of days. But this is Trump has branded himself the tariff man, and he likes to use this tool. So this, even if we may have seen some calm in the last 24 hours, I think that tariffs are very much going to be present in the early stages of his administration.
Certainly, you've heard the talk. Been a lot of concern that tariffs could send prices soaring throughout the country. If tariffs are put in place, what impacts do you expect to see here in the state of Oregon?
Well, here in the state of Oregon, we're especially sensitive to energy exports out of Canada. So I think electricity, natural gas, and also oil that's ultimately refined into gasoline would all be impacted by those tariffs on Canadian exports. But more broadly, this ultimately creates frictions in an economy where Oregon has been growing slower relative to the national economic statistics. And so this is problematic, where there's not a lot of buffer in place to endure these types of trade tensions and pressures on the manufacturing sector and the agricultural sector in particular.
There's also been some talk of retaliatory measures, of course, from the countries Trump wants to place the tariffs on. How do you see that impacting local businesses?
Well, I think when most people hear about tariffs, they think about those price pressures trickling down to consumers. An important lesson from 2018 was that that is not always the case, and sometimes those tariff costs are paid upstream in the supply chain. And so as we think about tariffs and retaliatory measures, I'm actually more concerned about the retaliatory measures than the pass-through of price pressures to consumers. We saw a very real impact on the U.S. manufacturing sector in Trade War I back in 2017, 18, and 19. And so those retaliatory measures and also this move in the dollar, where the dollar gets much stronger on these tariff announcements, that makes it very hard for Oregon industry, be it manufacturing or agriculture, to compete in the global market. And so I'm concerned about those economic headwinds stiffening in the state, when already we've seen some difficulties in the labor market and in terms of overall activity for those particular sectors.
He is the Chief Economist for the state of Oregon, Riccadonna. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate your time, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you.